Hello, I'm Will, this is Mike, we are the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
Today we've got issue 66 of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest. This comes with a Plague Marine with an icon of despair. And as always, if you want to skip straight ahead to the battle report, there'll be a timecode in the description. But having a look inside, we've got some things about the Black Templars chapter. They're a successor chapter to the Imperial Fists, and they're always on crusade, and they're all zealots. There's an order of battle there for one of their crusades, and some information about their markings, and a War of the Witch, because they hate Psychers. They don't have any librarians. Then we've got some Renegades of Nurgle. These are not Death Guard, but other Chaos Space Marines, maybe Renegade Space, normal Space Marines who worship the Plague God, and there's some examples here. Then Annals of the Space Wolves is History of the Space Wolves chapter, as we've had for several other chapters previously. This is their history. This is starting in M32 and working up to the current time period in the lore. Then we have Forces of the Eldari Craft Worlds. So we learned about the Eldari recently. The Craft Worlds are they live on gigantic ships called Craft Worlds, and there are some examples here, the more famous ones. And then here is a showcase of the kind of models that they have. So there's the Phoenix Lord Karandra, a very old model there. And they're all, sort of sleek lines, very alien-looking, bizarre guns and so forth. Then we have the build instructions for the new icon bearer. He's only 5 parts, as you can see there, and goes together pretty easily. There's only one pose available and no options. And then here we have the painting guide for him, which is, unsurprisingly, just the usual things for the Death Guard. Just as we've come to expect, and there is his finished model. And with that, we will be on to our game for this issue. So we'll go into that now.
So here we are for our mission for this issue. So you can see, going by this fiction and this little map here, the barrier between reality and the warp has begun to weaken due to the conflict on Korvon II, and the Death Guard have seized an opportunity in the city of Mayafoot, just to the northwest-ish of Barrakis here, to try and open a portal to the warp and flood the planet with demons. And the Ultramarines, or the Silver Templars in our case, so see the Silver Templars are another cameo appearance on the picture here. Silver Templars are going to try and stop them. So we have our mission, opening the portal. You can see our map set up, so we have the Mechanicus map set up as we used to do, with the pre-printed side. And the Death Guard have a deployment zone, a 6-inch diameter circle in the middle, and they can also move on from the short edges. And then we set up the other maps, we roll off, and the winner decides where to put one of the maps, and the loser places the other. And we set up the terrain according to other tutorials. And then the Space Marines have a 6-inch deployment zone along the short edge of the battlefield as a whole. Actually, we'll start with the army overviews first. You see we both have 3 command points. We also have a max power rating of 30, but the Death Guard must include the Plague Caster and a unit of 7 Plague Marines with our new Icon of Despair, while the Librarian must be in the Space Marine force. Then the Death Guard deploy the squad of 7 Plague Marines and the Malignant Plague Caster inside the 6-inch summoning circle as it is, and the Space Marines place their forces in their deployment zones, and the Space Marines get to go first. And our victory conditions: the Death Guard player wins if the Icon of Despair is within the summoning circle at the end of the game, and the Space Marine player wins if the Plague Marine with the Icon of Despair is killed or ends the game outside the summoning circle, and the game lasts for 5 battle rounds. And we've also got a new data sheet for the Plague Marines. It's pretty much exactly the same as the previous one we've got in issue, something like 13, way back at the beginning. But the only new thing really is here. It has the rules for the Icon of Despair, and basically units that are within 6 inches of any enemy unit with an Icon of Despair must subtract 1 from their leadership characteristic. Not sure how much of an impact that will have, but we'll see if it comes up. So that's the quick mission overview. We'll go into the armies we've come up with, and then a quick review of the battlefield and into the game. So here's the 30 power army I've come up with. We've got the Librarian, who I have to take, and he costs 7 power. He's going to be my Warlord. I'll give him Storm of Fire, and his psychic powers will be Might of Heroes and Psychic Scourge. Then we've got the Hellblasters, who cost 8 power for 5. 5 Intercessors, who are 5 power for 5. And the Dreadnought. He is quite expensive, but I'm hoping to make use of the Wisdom of the Ancients tactic, so you can proxy as a captain. But that adds up to exactly 30 power, as the Dreadnought costs 10. And here's our Death Guard army. So in the front we have the Malignant Plague Caster, who we have to take, so he costs 6 power. And then the squad of 7 Plague Marines with the Icon Bearer. This one has a Plasma Gun, and a Champion with a Plasma Gun and a Power Fist, and they cost 13 power, so that's 19 power. So William had 11 power left to play with.
Yeah, and I've gone with another unit of 5 Plague Marines with 2 Blight Launchers and a Champion, Power Fist and Plasma Gun, and 10 Poxwalkers, who are 3 power, so Plague Marines are 7, so that's actually only 29 power, but I was a bit limited in what I could take, really, because the big unit is so expensive. Actually, there's not much more you can get for 11 power with Death Guard. And obviously the Plaguecaster will be the Warlord. He will have the Arch-Contaminator Warlord trait, which will allow Plague Weapons to reroll everything, every wound. And for his Psychic powers, he's going to have Miasma of Pestilence and Putrescent Vitality.
And for any Death Guard players who think that paying 13 power for 7 Plague Marines is too much, it actually is. But as usual, we're using the datasheet from the magazine, which says that if you have more than 5 Plague Marines in a unit, they cost 13 power. Normally in the Codex it's only 10 power for 7, but we're going with what the magazine says, because we don't know any better. So before I deploy, we'll do a quick overview in the battlefield. You can see we have the city map set up here on the left, and the Mechanicus map set up on the pre-printed side, with the Death Guard, the Malignant Plaguecaster and the 7-man Plague Marine squad set up in the middle, with the banner and the Plaguecaster safely protected. And then our spaceport map over here on the right. So I finished my deployment. I've decided to deploy all my forces together, because I think if I split up I risk being defeated in detail. So I've got the Hellblasters down here at the bottom, with the Librarian next to them, then the Dreadnought, and then the Intercessors. I get to go first, so we'll head into Space Marines turn 1. So yeah, all my forces have just moved up their normal movement. So the Hellblasters have moved into this area terrain. Actually, we forgot to say that in the overview. This area is area of terrain, and that area in there is area terrain. The Librarian has just come up, so his aura is in range of both units. The Dreadnought's moved its full 8, so it can get its Fragstorm grenade launchers in range of the Plague Marines as well. And the Intercessors just moved up with the guy at the back, hanging back to benefit from those ammo boxes. And obviously there's ammo boxes here that benefit everyone else. But with that over, it's on to the Psychic phase. So, Smite and Psychic Scourge aren't in range of anything, so the Librarian's just going to try and manifest Might of Heroes on the Dreadnought. He needs a 6. I will re-roll that. Right, there we go, I got a 7. That is a success.
Okay.
Plaguecaster is in range to deny.
Getting an 8. Nope.
So Dreadnought has Might of Heroes, making it the only real relevance is that it's Toughness 8. But with that, it's on to the shooting phase. So I'll start here with the Hellblasters, because these two guys can only see one of the Plague Marines, so you might get taken away, and I will overcharge, just to try and kill you off. So I'll roll the Sergeant on his own, and then roll the other 4 separately, because they've only got a single shot each, so I'll just randomise it if one of them explodes. So Sergeant, 1 shot hitting on 3, rerolling 1s, he hits. 4 other Hellblasters, 2 hits, so 3 in total. Wounding on 3s, that's 2 wounds.
No save, so they're 2 damage each. So Plague Marine 1, dead, and 2. Oh, no, I have to roll extra die. No, there's 2 dead. And I can take these 2 closest ones, because I think they're the only ones who are actually in range of the Fragstorm grenade launcher on the Dreadnought.
Possibly out of range. So yeah, I'll do the Dreadnought next, and the Fragstorm grenade launchers are indeed out of range now that those 2 Plague Marines got taken away. So it's just the Heavy Onslaught Gatling cannon to fire. So we've got 12 shots hitting on 4s because we moved, but re-rolling 1s because of the ammo boxes. 3 hits so far, 1s. Into 1 more hit, yeah, that's as good as the Dreadnought usually does. Wounding on 4s. I got 1 wound, so that's 1 at 4+, and 1 5+ save.
Because of Storm of Fire.
Storm of Fire.
For 4+. No. 5+. No. 2 times disgustingly resilient. No. 2 more dead. It's a bad day to be a bolt gunner.
And finally, the Intercessor squad can all just about see a Plague Marine, so they'll shoot at them as well. We've got 5 shots hitting on 3s, rolling 1s, because of the ammo boxes. So rolling that 1 into a hit. 4 hits. Wounding on 5s. Only 1, so it's a 4+ armor save.
Made it.
But that will be the end of my shooting phase. I'm not going to declare any charges because I'm too far away, so the Plague Marines will have to make a morale test.
I'm not going to spend 2 command points, I'm going to take the risk. A 4+4 is 8, which is the champion.
That is enough.
So he's okay. They're okay.
So none of the Plague Marines run away. That's the end of Space Marine turn 1, on to Death Guard turn 1.
So in my movement phase, we can bring on reinforcements from the table or the edges of
the short edge of the Mechanicus board.
So we've got 5 Plague Marines coming on here, they've just moved normally, and then I'm going to move the Poxwalkers on basically the other side of the table, the same place, and I'm going to advance with them. We're running their advance, an extra 5 inches. That brings them to there, from there.
So they came on from here, 9 inches.
And then the guys in the middle, the Plaguecaster is going to move to here, because then he's within range to cast Psychic Powers on both the Poxwalkers and the Unit 5 Plague Marines over here. These remaining 3 important Plague Marines are going to move. They're going to move out of the circle for the moment, but
you can move back.
I can move back later, and I can play Cloud of Flies on them for a command point, so they can't be shot at unless they're the closest target.
Yeah.
Then it's on to the Psychic phase. We're going to try and cast Putrescent Vitality on the Poxwalkers.
Yep.
Needing a 6, getting it with a 7.
I'm going to let you have that.
Okay, and I'll also try and cast Miasma of Pestilence on the 5 Plague Marines who can be shot at.
Yep.
That is an 11, so that definitely goes off.
Well, I'll try and deny it, because I might as well. I need a 12.
Oh!
I denied it.
Okay. So, on to the shooting phase. We'll start with these 5 Plague Marines here. They'll shoot everything at the Hellblasters.
Yep.
We'll begin with a Plasma Gun, which we are going to overcharge, because the Champion's Life doesn't count for anything except killing people. Yep, that's typical, so we'll re-roll that.
Yep, down to 1 command point.
Right, hit.
Yep.
Wounds on a 2. Yeah.
5 plus armor save. Nope. Yeah, Hellblast will die. Take away this guy.
Blight Launchers next. They are in range, so 4 shots on 3s.
1 hit.
Wounding on 3s, re-rolling 1s. Nope. 2 bolt gun shots hitting on 3s as well. 1 hit, wounding on a 4. Yes.
2 plus armor save because we've got cover. Yep.
And then the remaining 3 Plague Marines over here, we've got 2 plasma guns, and the Bannerman actually has a bolt gun. So we'll shoot the plasma guns at the Dreadnought, we won't supercharge them, and the bolt gun will shoot the Intercessors, I suppose, because they're not quite in range of the Hellblasters.
Yep.
So 2 plasma gun shots at the Dreadnought on 3s. 1 hit, wounding on a 5 because you got 1 heroes off. Oh, it did.
There we go. 6 plus armor save. Nope. So Dreadnought goes down to 12.
And a bolt gun shot at the Intercessors. It hit. It wounded.
3 plus armor save because we're in the open. Made it. Yeah, and that'll be it for the Death Guard turn. Not going to declare any charges, and these Poxwalkers advanced. So it's on to Space Marines turn 2. So here I've finished my movement. The Hellblaster squad has moved out of the area cover. We're going to take a risk. The Dreadnought's moved up its 8, so it is now actually closest to the Malignant Plaguecaster, and it is within charge range of those Plague Marines. The Intercessors have moved up, they can just about all get into that area terrain, and the Librarian has moved up behind, so he's closest to those Plague Marines. So in the psychic phase I'm going to start with Smite, so if it manifests it will hit this Plague Marine squad the small squad of 5, needing a 5, getting it with a 7.
Okay, I'm not going to try and deny that.
Yep, so D3 mortal wounds to those Plague Marines, 2.
One of them on 5s. Oh, I did.
There you go. Then my second psychic power will be Psychic Scourge. I'm going to try and manifest it on this, the objective squad of Plague Marines. So I need a 6, getting it with a 9.
Right, well obviously I will try and deny this one.
Yeah.
No,
Ooh.
not with a 9.
You're going to re-roll it?
No, I need the command point for Cloud of Flies.
Okay, so now we have to roll off. I roll a d6 and add my leadership, and William adds a d6 and adds his leadership. So I roll a d6 and add 10. So I have 15.
I can't beat that actually.
Yeah, so yeah, he gets 13. So I cause d3 mortal wounds. 2.
Yeah, and then ignoring the 5s. No, so the Bannerman is left.
It's just the banner bearer, who I can't shoot out annoyingly. And in the shooting phase, I'm going to spend a command point to use the Wisdom of the Ancients stratagem. So the Dreadnought gives everyone around him a re-rolling 1 aura, including himself, which is the main point of it. But I'm actually going to start with the Hellblasters. They're going to shoot at the Plague Marine squad over there. So we're not within 15, and we are going to overcharge, so I'll roll the Sergeant separately, and then the other 3, and I'll randomise it if they blow up. Sarge misses, and the other 3 hitting on 3, rolling 1s, because of the ammo boxes. Re-rolling that 1 into a hit, so he got 2 hits. Wounding on 3s, 2 wounds.
And then disgustingly resilient, times 2, twice, so 1 dies, and no one dies.
Yeah. 2 dead bolt gunners. Next I'll do the Librarian. He's going to fire his pistol at that Plague Marine squad because it's the only unit that he's in range of to shoot. So he has 1 shot hitting on 3, rolling 1s because of the Dreadnought. Rolling that 1 into a hit. Wounding on 5s. Nope. Next I'll do the Intercessors. They're going to shoot all of their guns at the Plague Marines as well. They're not in grenade range, so you've got 10 bolt rifle shots. 10 shots hitting on 3s, rolling 1s. Oh, that's a lot of 2s. And 4 1s to re-roll, which turns into another 2 hits. So it's only 5 hits. Wounding on 5s. So that's 1 4+ armor save and 1 5+ armor save.
Okay, so 4+. No, 5+. No, discussing the resilient. Make 1, so lose a blight launcher.
Yep. And finally, I've got the Dreadnought. He's going to shoot at the Malignant Plaguecaster because he is the closest target. The Heavy Flame is not in range, so I'll start with the Heavy Onslaught Gatling Cannon. We have 12 shots, hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1s. Well, 4s because we moved, re-rolling 1s because of the Wisdom of the Ancients. Then re-rolling those 1s into 2 more hits, so that will be 8 hits. Wounding on 4s because strength 5. And no Storm of Fire, so 4+ armor saves.
Failed 3 of them.
Oh dear.
Can't afford to spend my command points, so discussing resilient.
Oh, 666.
Okay.
Yeah, as usual, it's never going to be as easy as it should be with Death Guard. And then we've got the Frag Storm Grenade Launchers, 2d6 shots, 10. Hitting on 3s, you're rolling 1s. You roll that 1 into a hit, so that's 8 hits as well. Wounding on 5s. So there's 1 3+ armor save and 1 4+ armor save.
3+. Yes. 4+. Nope. Disgustingly resilient. He did take a wound.
So he's down to 3. Then in my charge phase, this Intercessor squad is going to charge those Plague Marines.
Okay, so we've got 2 shots from Plasma Gun. We won't supercharge.
Yep.
3s.
Oh, double hit.
I should have supercharged.
Yeah.
Wounding on 3s. Okay, well, only 1 wound.
5+ armor save because I'm in cover. And didn't make it, so an Intercessor will take a wound. So yeah, he takes a wound.
And then Light Launcher, 2 shots into 6s. Nothing.
And their charge distance is a 12.
Go on, Ben.
That's a shame because I need that for the Dreadnought. So they finish their charge like that, basically able to just completely surround the Plague Marines. And then the Dreadnought will declare a charge against the Malignant Plaguecaster and the Icon Bearer. He's just within 12 inches.
I'll do all their Overwatch at the same time because there's a bolt pistol and a bolt gun. Yeah. So actually 3 shots on 6s. We've got a hit. Wounding on a 5.
And then the Dreadnought's charge distance going to need to be something spectacular to get to the Icon Bearer. Not a 3, but that'll be all my charges. So on to the fight phase. So the only units to fight in the fight phase are the Intercessors. I have 11 attacks. So the Intercessors have 11 attacks, hitting on 3s. Oh, that is appalling. Only 5 hits. Wounding on 5s. 1 wound.
3+ armor save. Yes. And then hitting back, we'll do the knife first because there's a guy on 1 wound on a 3. Yes. And a 4. No. And then Power Fist on 4s. No.
Misses. Those Plague Marines have to make a morale test because they took 3 casualties.
Yep. Yep.
That is a fail, so that's one of them runs away. But that'll be the end for Space Marines turn 2. On to Death Guard turn 2.
We'll start off with the Poxwalkers. They're going to advance because they're not going to be in charge range. Well, it'll be a long charge anyway where they end up, so they're going to get to an extra 2 inches. So
the Poxwalkers have moved over to here.
These other 2 both can advance in the opposite direction to the Dreadnought. So
okay.
We'll do the Plaguecaster first. He gets to an extra 5, and the man with the banner an extra 4. So they're making it over here. I'm just going to have to run back again at the end. We'll play Cloud of Flies on the banner man because otherwise he could be shot again.
That's losing the last command point for the Death Guard.
And then this Plague Champion cannot escape from the Intercessor, so he has to stay in melee.
Yep. So it's on to the Psychic phase.
He'll try and cast Miasma of Pestilence on himself. It's only to 6. Well, okay, I got a 6.
You need to roll another dice in case you get perils.
No, it's a 10.
I'm not going to bother trying to deny that.
And we'll try and smite, I think. Nope.
Not with a 3.
There's no shooting because those 2 guys advanced and this champion's stuck in melee, so it'll be straight onto the fight phase.
He doesn't have a pistol.
Where he'll try and hit these guys again, so on 4s with his Power Fist. Got 2 hits this time, right. 2s. Yes.
6+ armor saves. Made neither, so the wounded man dies.
And someone takes 3 damage.
So 2 Intercessors die.
Right.
But then they get to fight, so they'll pile in. The Intercessors have 7 attacks, hitting on 3s. They all hit. Wounding on 5s. 4.
So he has to make all his saves. He failed 1, and disgustingly resilient. Nope, he dies.
So Plague Marine Champion goes down. So the Intercessors get a bit closer to the Plaguecaster. But that is the end of Death Guard turn 2, on to Space Marines turn 3. So in my movement phase, the Hellblasters have just moved up to get a bit further away from the Poxwalkers, but they are all within 15 inches of one. The intercessors have come down here, and they're all within 15 of the Plaguecaster. The Dreadnought has moved up its 8, and finally the Librarian will advance, because he only has a pistol. So he advances an extra 3. So the Librarian will end up over here behind the intercessors, and we measured, and he is just about closer to the Poxwalkers than to the Plaguecaster for smite, but he is within 18 inches of the Icon Bearer. So in the Psychic phase, the Librarian will try to manifest Smite first off. He needs a 5, which he got.
I'm in range to die, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, obviously. 3 mortal wounds to the Poxwalkers.
Kills 2. I'll just take the 2 furthest away, I guess.
Yeah, so these 2 will die. And then he will try to manifest Psychic Scourge on the Icon Bearer, and he can do that because Cloud of Flies only protects against shooting attacks. I need a 6. I got it with a 10.
So I've got to try and deny it. No.
7.
Got any command points?
So no command points, I can't re-roll it, so we roll off against leadership.
My hit is 7.
Yep.
Ooh, that's 13.
13, so I need to roll a 3 or more to do anything. No, I will spend my command point to re-roll that.
Okay.
Into a 4, so I get 14.
Okay, so
D3 mortal wounds to the Icon Bearer. 2.
he needs to make both his disgusting resilience, and he doesn't,
No.
so he dies.
So the Icon Bearer dies. With the Icon Bearer dead, that will be a Space Marine victory. So we'll recap that for you now. So that was the mission for issue 66 of Warhammer 40,000 Conquest. Do I really need to ask you how it went?
It did not go so well. I think there are a number of things. I think perhaps the scenario. I mean, there were problems with the scenario, like the power cost of the Plague Marines. But I also think my choice of reinforcements wasn't brilliant, and I also think I made some mistakes in gameplay. So I think it was a lot of things adding up to a bit of a whitewash, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, even just straight off the bat, the fact that I can start in range of you with Hellblasters and Intercessors and the Dreadnought, and you can't play Cloud of Flies.
Yeah, it's definitely not out of the realms of possibility that you could just kill that whole unit in one shooting phase.
Or at the very least, cause enough casualties that you would have to spend 2 command points to avoid the risk of the banner bearer running away.
Yeah, totally. And then that's fewer command points I can spend on Cloud of Flies later, which is what I need to keep the thing alive.
Well, I think actually the thing that won it for me was Psychic Scourge.
That's right.
Because it can target things even if they have Cloud of Flies on them. The Librarian, after his rocky start with the perils, he actually did quite well. Could also change it so that I have to kill the Plaguecaster as well.
Yeah, that would make it a bit harder. But also the fact that I have to keep my guys in the summoning circle, the middle. I could run away, but if he'd survived somehow, I would have had to run back into the middle, and there was a Dreadnought.
You can't run away too far.
Yeah. So there's that, and then of course the fact that the datasheet for the Plague Marines doesn't include an option that is in the Codex, which is 7 Plague Marines for 10 power.
Yeah, you should have had 3 more power, which would have given you enough to take a character like the Foul Blightspawn.
So the exact wording as we have in the magazine is, this unit contains 1 Plague Champion and 2 to 4 Plague Marines. You can include up to 5 additional Plague Marines. Change the power rating to 13 if you do. So there's no option for 7. So that left me with 11 power, which is, there's not much you can do with 11 power.
You talked about before you considered taking the Blight Hauler, which in hindsight is probably the better choice. But I think in that case you might not have had anything to do with the Hellblasters instead.
Yeah, it would be a trade-off.
The Blight Hauler is a big thing that can block.
Well, it's fast, and I just needed things to be in the way, really. It's kind of, that's why I went for Plague Marines and Poxwalkers. I thought, I'll just sort of bodies and just throw them in the way of stuff. But as it was, the fact they have to move on from my board edges meant they couldn't really get close enough. They couldn't get in the way.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised you sent the Poxwalkers along that board edge rather than going straight into the middle, or at least trying to charge the Hellblasters.
Oh yeah, I was sending them after the Hellblasters.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, in hindsight I should have sent them further into the middle. The bloat drone probably would have been a good option as well, because it's fast and tough.
The Foul Blightspawn can come on and terrorise something.
I didn't go for him because I thought he'd just get shot to bits, but in hindsight, again, probably he would have been a much better option.
That said, if we're going by codexes, with a new codex, if we were using the new Spaceman codex, I would have had 5 more power with the same army.
Yeah, you would, given the reduction in cost anyway.
Another squad of intercessors, or even the aggressors or something.
Yeah. I suppose it is also, this does serve as an illustration of, now that we're picking our armies, we can sort of tailor our forces to a certain job. If this had been a mission written by the magazine people, the Space Marines would have almost certainly had, I don't know, the aggressors and maybe the bikes or something.
Yeah, some bizarre combination.
It would have been, we need to rush to stop this ritual, let's give them a combination of fast units and melee units, whereas in fact, turns out the better tactic is just buy shooting units and blast everything off the board. And I mean, yes, I didn't have anything to deal with the Dreadnought, but actually, the Dreadnought didn't have a huge impact on the game, other than being in the way. Yeah, if the game had gone on longer, it would have meant I couldn't have possibly got the guy back into the middle, but...
I think you only killed 2 Plague Marines.
But that's the thing, when you're choosing your own armies, it can be the case that actually your opponent brings something and you just don't really have anything to deal with it, and that's just the way it is.
And at 30 power is still quite low. I mean, both these armies are just sort of brushing 500 points. You don't have enough power to actually bring an answer for everything.
Yeah, I could have done better if I'd had another 3 power to play with because of the Plague Marines. And that's the other thing to note about power. So in the previous episode when we learnt about power, we talked about how power doesn't take into account war gear options, but this demonstrates that power doesn't always take into account unit size very well.
Yeah.
So you have 5 Plague Marines and you cost 7 power, but as soon as you buy that 6th one, and here you go up to 13, so like 6 Plague Marines is 13 power according to the magazine. From that point of view, there's no reason not to take the different size increments.
There's no reason to take a 7-man unit of Plague Marines. You might as well take 10.
And the same with the Intercessors. There's no point taking 6 or 7 Intercessors because you get 10 for the same number of power, because it just goes up from 5 to 10 in one jump.
Whereas if you were playing with points, you can have those odd numbered sizes.
And I'm sure that's deliberate because power is meant for a sort of slightly less kind of...
Yeah, it's for quick and easy.
So, anyway, it's just a limitation. It's not a bad thing as long as you're aware it exists, I suppose. But it only becomes a problem when the magazine tells you to take 7.
And I assume we will learn about points later, but power, you can end up with armies that theoretically have the same power value, but wildly different points. Whereas there are also armies from the previous episodes. I think my cheapest army was 375-ish points, and that was the one that fought against Typhus. And Typhus's army was about 460 points.
Yeah.
And I think that will also be the case here.
Yeah.
Even though I only had 1 more power than you. And I mean, I suppose you should talk about the Icon of Despair. I mean, it's an aura of, was it 6-inch range of -1 leadership? I mean, the Space Marine forces we have, they already get +1 leadership. I mean, it doesn't actually tell you that they do, but they get it from Ultramarines Tactic Codex Discipline. So, I mean, it counteracts that. I suppose the other way to look at it is there's no reason not to take the Icon of Despair.
Yeah, it doesn't. In our games, it doesn't cost any power.
Yeah, it does cost 10 points to take it.
Yeah.
So maybe not take it. I mean, it doesn't make the guy worse. He's just a special bolt gunner now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, if he dies, it doesn't matter because it's not that useful anyway. It's not that useful in a Death Guard army anyway because the Death Guard, well, broadly speaking, the Death Guard aren't a close combat army.
I mean, it's worth taking if you can. I don't know, maybe combine it with the Noxious Blightbringer because he gives an extra -1 leadership.
Yeah, there are a couple of combos you can do, but the biggest hindrance really is the fact that it has to get within 6 inches.
Yeah.
With this magazine, most of the damage that the Death Guard do tends to be with shooting or with Lords of Contagion. In either case, there's unlikely to be an Icon of Despair.
Morale's probably just not going to be a factor.
No, it's just
not
unlikely.
against Space Marines as well.
Yeah. So,
and the other thing to note is that that model is actually £17.50, so he costs as much as a Death Guard character, or the ones you can buy separately at least, so the Foul Blight Spawn. But he is just a Plague Marine, a 1-wound Plague Marine with a bolt gun. I mean, you've got it with the magazine, so it's 50% off.
Yeah.
Why not? I don't know why you'd buy this guy on his own, because the multi-part full Plague Marine kit is £35, but you get the parts to build 7 Plague Marines, including one with an Icon of Despair. Failing that, if you have a Chaos vehicle like the Chaos Rhino we got, you could probably use some of the weird iconography stuff and make an icon out of that and just stick it to one of the easy to build bolt gunners. It does seem like a bit of a rip-off to buy this guy on his own. So again, I mean, I guess if you're like a collector or you really just need one model, I mean, you can get him through the magazine now, so you might as well get him for £8
yeah,
instead.
exactly, yeah.
Well, I don't think there's too much more to say about this mission, so if you like this content, please leave a like and subscribe. Leave any comments. If you played this scenario, what armies did you take? How did you fare? And let us know. We've been the Tabletop Donkeys. We'll see you in the next one.
Goodbye.